Hello, it's me again, Eric P. Today's episode is called The Magician. It's a Halloween special, so, scary dairy, as they say. Yeah, it should be quite a long one, this one. It's basically a story I got told of a guy one Halloween about 10 years ago. We're on a night out. He ended up in a flower bed face down with a tulip stuck out between his butt cheeks. So I wouldn't count on this story being exactly true. But I'll tell you what the story was anyway. Right, so I'll show you a quick picture and then we'll start the story. I shall get on with the story then. You've got like a little club. It's got like a stage and a load of tables and chairs in front. And at the back you've got like a bar area where people can stand and have a drink. The bar manager, he stood there and the owner's in with him and they're both having a little chat. So the owner of the bar and everything, he turned around, he says, right, he said Roy and Chip should be here around about 2:30, 3 o'clock. So just show them to the changing room and just let them get comfortable and give them anything they need for tonight. And the bar manager's like, who's Roy and Chip? And the owner's like, you know, Roy and Chip, the ventriloquist and his dummy. You know, you must remember them. They've been on loads of times. And the bar manager's like, oh, yeah, now I remember. So he's like, right, I'm going to go out. I won't be back till about 7 or 8 o'clock tonight, so I'll be back quite late. I've got quite a few things to sort out, so I'll leave it in your capable hands if that's all right. And the manager's like, yeah, don't worry about it. I can sort that. Anyway, in the background, the door swings open, and this chef comes wandering out. He's got like a big chef's hat, and it's all like brown and yellow. And he's wearing a string vest, and he's all sweat dripping off him, and he's got airy arms and everything and shoulders, and he just looks really sweaty and grubby looking. And he gets his palette knife, and it's got all cream on it, and he just looks at it, and then he puts it under his armpit, and then he slides it along to get the cream off the palette knife. Yeah, just to give you an idea of the quality of chef we're dealing with. They call him Botulism Bob. You can probably tell why by that description. Right, I'm going to fade to a little splice here, and then I'll get on with the rest of the story. So, right, here we go. Well, later that afternoon, the bar manager stood there, wiping the bar, and he looks over and the door swings open. Apparently it's Roy and Chip. Well, Roy's doing the walking, as you can imagine. Chip's a puppet. So they walk in, and the manager looks over. He says, hiya, Roy, because he recognises him. He's been on before. So he says, hiya, Roy, I'll show you to the changing rooms in a minute if you want. And Roy's like, oh, cheers for that, yeah. We need to, prepare for our performance. Chip likes to have a little bit of a rest before he starts at night. So the bar manager's thinking, I think he's been working with a puppet too long, this guy. A bit funny in the head, but yeah. Whatever. So he shows into the changing rooms. He says, right, here's the changing rooms. You've been here before, so just make yourself comfortable. Do you want a drink or anything? The bloke's like, well, I wouldn't mind a couple of lagers, just get me in the mood for tonight. I'll have a bit of a kip first. Sit here and have a bit of a brainstorming session with Chip, see what we're doing. And the bar manager's like, right, yeah, fair enough. I'll bring you a lager, I'll bring it in a minute. So, right, I'll have a little picture here, and then we'll start the next part of the story. Right, here we go. Right, a couple of hours has passed now, and the bar manager still stood behind the bar. Anyway, the door swings open again, and this time there's a guy stood there in like a top hat. He looks like a little bit like a Jekyll and Hyde character. He looks a little bit strange, but he's got a top hat on, tombstone gulch-like teeth, a bit of a pale complexion, like black hair and everything sticking out, and crazy eyebrows, like a dirty soup. And he stood there and he starts walking towards the bar. And the bar manager's like, we're closed at the moment. We don't open till later on. And the bloke says, oh, no. He said, I'm not a customer. And the bar manager's like, well, who are you then? He says, I am the great Linguini. And the bar manager's like, well, who's the great Linguini? I've never heard of him. Well, the Linguini's me. I'm a magician. You mean a magician? He said, yeah, magician. Yeah. He says, well, we've already got an act for tonight. What, do you want some work next week or something like that? He's like, no, I'm performing tonight. And the bar manager's like, well, no, it's Roy and Chip tonight. We've got a ventriloquist act on tonight. He said, well, yeah. He said, I know you thought you did, but Roy's had to rush off, apparently. Yeah, he can't do tonight now. He's had like a family emergency and I'm covering for him. I'm not sure. No, but he didn't tell me about this. He said, "Well, no, it was an emergency. He just had to rush off." Well, you have to clear it with the owner, really. I'm not really. I can't really say who should be on tonight. I don't know what's going to happen. And the magician does turn around. He says, "No. Your boss has phoned the agency. He's sorted it out. That's why I'm doing the covering now. He's already spoke to like an agency and just said like, I want a magician. So have you got one?" And here I am, the great Linguini. Oh, right, well, I suppose if the boss has phoned up and organised you, I suppose it's all right. Do you know where, well, you won't know where the changing rooms are. I'll just go and show you. And the bloke says, right, yeah, no problem, just show me to the changing room. I've got a few bits and bobs in the car. I'll get them out a bit later out. Right, so he shows him to the changing room. He opens the door. Yeah, so just make yourself comfortable and just get ready for tonight then. I'll see you later on. And the bloke's like, yeah, no problem. It'd be a great performance tonight. Real showstopper. You'll like it. And the bar manager's like, oh, right, well, whatever. Just do whatever you're doing and I'll see you later on. Do you want a drink or anything? And the bloke's like, no, I don't drink. It doesn't go with my medication. Makes me go a bit, well, anyway, I just don't drink. So the bar manager's like, right, fair enough. Right, well, just get ready and we'll see the performance tonight then. And the bloke's like, right, yep, we'll definitely see a performance tonight. Yep. Right, I'll show you another quick picture and then we'll get to the next stage of the story. Right, here we go. Right, it's night time now. And you've got these two guys sat on a table near the front of the stage, Trev and Simon, and he sat with these two girls. They've organised like a date, so that these two girls are with them. So they sat there, just eating a meal. It's a pretty epoxy meal, as you can imagine, as I described the chef earlier. He's not the best chef in the world. The food tasted bloody awful. So Trevor turns around to Simon and he says, this bloody food's a bit iffy. And Simon's like, look, we shouldn't have bloody ordered it. You know we were bloody bad with the trots last time we ate in here. And the two girls are like, well, why have you bloody brought us here for a meal then? And Trevor's like, well, it's not really that bad. We're exaggerating. Don't worry about it. Be all right. Yeah. Just eat your meal. You should be fine. We're just exaggerating. You know how it is. Anyway, the bar manager goes on the stage and he's like a microphone and he's like a load of magic bits and paraphernalia all sitting on the stage. He says, look, everybody, he says, I know you're expecting Roy and Chip tonight. I know there's a lot of people that wanted to see a ventriloquist. But unfortunately, he's had a bit of a family problem and we've had to get somebody else. So tonight it's going to be the great Linguini, a magician. So I hope you don't mind. And all the crowd sort of groaned, thinking, oh, bloody hell, not another magician. So yeah, right, I'll just do a little splice here and then we'll carry on. Here we go. Right, the great Linguini stood on stage. He said, right, everybody, I'm going to start with a card trick. And you can hear all the audience groan. They think, oh, bloody hell, another magician with a card trick. Oh, right, well, anyway, he starts his card trick. He says, right, he said, I want somebody in the audience to just think of a card, any card. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you what that card was. So, yeah, you at the back, just think of a card. So this bloke on the back table, he thinks for a minute. He says, the great Linguini turns to him. He said, right, have you thought of one? Bloke says, yeah, I've thought of a card, yeah. He said, right, he said, so the great Linguini closes his eyes for a second, holding his pack of cards. He says, right, the card you were thinking of is the ace of clubs. Is that correct? And the bloke on this back table, he said, no, it was the four of hearts. So the great Linguini turned around, he says, no, try again. The bloke said, look, it's the four of hearts. It's not my fault if you got it wrong. That's the card I was bloody thinking of. It's the four of hearts. Anyway, the great Linguini's getting angry now. Oh, he's proper raging. Jumps off the stage, runs over, grabs this bloke by the lapels. He says, look, you picked the ace of clubs. What card did you pick? And this bloke's terrified. He's just looking at him. He's thinking, this guy's bloody mental. He said, all right, I picked the ace of clubs. He said, I knew you picked the ace of clubs. Why didn't you just say so in the first place? So then he climbs back on the stage. Anyway, just as he's doing this, the owner of the bar walks in and he looks over and he sees this bloke on stage and he turns to the bar manager. He said, who the bloody hell's that? And the bar manager said, it's the magician you organised for tonight. He said, what bloody magician? I've organised for Roy and Chip tonight. And the bar manager said, yeah, but Roy and Chip had to rush off. The magician said that you phoned up the agency and organised for him to come and replace him. He said, I never replaced him. Nothing wrong with Roy. I don't know what's going on. Well, I'll tell you what, let me go and check the changing room. So he walks back into the changing room. Anyway, he looks around, can't see anything. He opens the cupboard. Anyway, Roy and Chip's in there. Chip, his puppet's just got like this terrified look on his face. And Roy's just got like a pair of shoelaces wrapped around his neck. He's been strangled. His eyes are wide open. He looks dead pasty. And the bar owner's thinking, oh, bloody hell, something's not right here. So he goes out there. Anyway, he walks over. He walks back out. And the magician stood on stage there. And he says, right. He said, I'd like a volunteer to cut in half. Anyway, Trevor's down on the front table. He says, oh, I'll do it. And the girls are like, oh, you're very brave. I wouldn't be doing that. And Simon's like, look, I don't trust this guy. I would not let him cut me in half. The bloke says, it's only bloody magic. Anyway, so Trevor puts his hand up and the magician says, oh, good, we've got a volunteer. I love chopping people in half. This is a favourite part of me night. Right, come on. So he goes on the stage and he bolts him into the box. And then he pulls out this big chainsaw and this big bloody chainsaw's going 2 to a dozen. It's a right big chainsaw. Anyway, he starts cutting through the box. All this fake blood spraying everywhere. You can hear, oh, the humanity. Oh, God, no, what's happening? And all the people are all sat there thinking, oh, this is good. I didn't rate this magician, but this bit's good. He's used an awful lot of fake blood, even sound effects. And Trevor's thinking, I don't trust this. This doesn't look right to me. Anyway, the bar owner's just stood there with his mouth gape and he's thinking, bloody hell, what is this nutter doing on the stage? He turned around to his bar manager. He says, call the police now. We need to get the police here as quick as possible. Anyway, about 20 minutes or so have passed and Trevor's shouts out to the magician. He says, look, he said, are you putting him back together or what? What's going on? And the magician just says, look, he said, I do not put people back together. I just chop them in half. I don't do the putting people back together. That's not what I do. I just chop them in half. So, no, I can't put him back together again. And the girl's just thinking, well, this is a bit odd. And Trevor's thinking, oh, bloody hell, something's gone seriously wrong here tonight. Anyway, just then, all the armed police start rushing the building and they all start walking towards the stage. They say, put the chainsaw down. Just put the chainsaw down or we're going to shoot. Anyway, the police ended up shooting him in the head. So this magician's lying dead on the stage. Turns out he was an escaped mental patient. Anyway, Trevor's just thinking, well, there's nothing we can do now. No doctor's going to be able to sort that out. And the girl turns around and she says, well, we could always get another magician to put him back together again. Yeah, she wasn't the brightest. Anyway, that was my story. I just thought you'd like to hear it. So, yeah, nice little cheerful story for Halloween. I was going to do it in the dark with, candles, but I haven't got a bulb to, do the lighting. It'd have looked awful. You wouldn't have seen me. Can't really do a video in the dark. Right, well, that's my Halloween video. See you later. Bye.